Hello and welcome to West Country Wanderings. Welcome to one of my Cornwall series. And yes, we are in St Ives today. This is the first time, can you believe it? The channel's been running now, getting on for 3 years. In fact, it is 3 years this month here on West Country Wanderings. And this is the first time I've done a proper video in St Ives. I've caught, of course, the branch line train. It's not a railway series, but I managed to get some shots in the introduction there, out of the window. Beautiful views across Hale Bay as you arrive here at the station here at St Ives. It's probably what it is, the very best way to arrive here in St Ives. I've done it many times. In fact, I'm sure some of you know that I used to work here in the town. I used to work, Woolworths used to manage the store here in St Ives. But yes, this is the wonderful beach here, Porthminster. Before we're going to do any filming, I'm here with my daughter today. We're going to grab some lunch here on the beach before we head into town, have a look around and tell you some more about the town here as well. So I hope you can join me again here on West Country Wanderings in St Ives in Cornwall. So this is Porthminster Beach, and it is one of 4 beaches in St Ives. We'll see if we can see the other 3. One of them is Harbour Beach, Porthgwydden and Porthmere. And out there getting a battering today is Godrevy Island, made famous by Virginia Woolf, who also lived in St Ives for many years. Partially grew up here and then spent many holidays here writing her books. That book was called To the Lighthouse, appropriately enough. Nowadays, of course, St Ives is famous for its tourism, particularly surf tourism. You have the St Ives Surf School here. Now this here is Pedna Olva Point, with Pedna Olva Hotel on it now. But up until the end of the 19th century, this was the location of one of St Ives's engine houses. This was Pedna Olva Tin Mine. At the end of Porthminster Beach, I have a couple of plaques here telling you about wrecks that happened. This one here, wrecked in a north-northeast gale on the 5th of February with Julienne Marie. On the 17th of October 1907, the schooner Susan Elizabeth was also lost in a north-northeast gale and was saved by the St Ives lifeboat, the James Stephens number 10. And this little street here, which goes from the railway station into the heart of the town centre, is called the Warren. You can probably guess why it's called the Warren. That's the Cornwall Air Ambulance landing down on Harbour Beach. Some kind of incident medical emergency on the pier there. I can see an ambulance on the pier. Looks like the patient is going to be transferred from the ambulance into that helicopter to take them to Treliske Hospital. This little footpath here, which joins Harbour Beach on the other side of the breakwater, is called the Lambeth Walk. And that's looking back to Pedna Olva Rocks, where the hotel is, and formerly Pedna Olva Tin Mine here in St Ives. Now, St Ives is named after the Irish saint St Ire, and it's to St Ire that the church here in St Ives is also named after. This is the marketplace there, just on the right of the screen, and there's been a marketplace here since 1490. It has to be said that St Ives has changed beyond all recognition since I started working here in the middle of the 1990s. Then there was lots of shops catering for local people, like hardware shops, electrical shops, different types of food shops, and now virtually every shop is centred around catering for the tourist trade. Now, St Ives can actually get quite busy in the town centre, particularly through 4th Street and along Wharf Road. I've come up to Trewin Gardens. We've just come up here for coffee. Excuse me, but there is an incident going on at the harbour there by the pier. I'm not sure what's gone. There's 3 ambulances and 3 police cars so far. You saw that air ambulance arriving earlier on. But I just wanted to show you this here at Trewin Gardens, why it's nice and quiet. And that is this. You can see that there. Yes, it's the St Ives Times and Echo. It is an independent newspaper, comes out once a week. And the reason I mention that is because I actually used to work alongside St Ives Times and Echo with various campaigns for Woolworths when I was here at St Ives. But I was really pleased to see this in the shop, in the co-op, to see that the local newspaper is still going strong. In fact, now it's on glossier paper and it's in full colour as well. But although it is a little bit pricey at £2, but it's always good to support your local newspaper, not just relying on content online. And they have got some really, really good in-depth articles here, very, very well written as well. So well done, the St Ives Times and Echo. So this is where Woolworths used to be in 4th Street. That's where I used to work. This is the top entrance, or the 4th Street entrance, now Mountain Warehouse. And this Woolworths was actually on 3 sales floors. So this street here is called the Dygie, and I've got a memory of the Tate being opened and my office manager telling me that for all the traders that are in the town, we could go to the Tate St Ives. And I remember walking out of Woolworths along here one evening, just as it was snowing, towards the Tate, which is along the Dygie, and then you turn left, and it was snowing. It was beautiful with the cobbled streets, a moonlit night, and the snow coming down just 3-4 days before Christmas Day. A couple of shops to point out here. One is Flapjackery, which is, I think it's a Devon-based flapjack company. I know Louise on South West Sundays mentioned it a couple of times. And also you have the St Ives Shell Shop, which has been going since 1968, which makes it one of the oldest trading towns here in St Ives now. This is the famous Sloop Inn here at St Ives, and it was established around 1312, but nobody knows exactly. This is looking back at Harbour Beach. We're heading across to Porthgwydden Beach in that direction, and the island, and that is Wharf Road, and the slipway there for the St Ives lifeboat. And that over there is looking towards Porthminster Beach, where we started our St Ives foray today. And you can see the 3 arches there underneath the pier breakwater for the harbour. And that there is the gaps, the wood, are moved up and down. At the moment they're in the open position, and that's to control the sand flow onto this part of Harbour Beach. This here is St Leonard's Chapel. It's traditionally the chapel of the fishermen of St Ives. St Ives and fishermen tends to go together. Colourful scene here with all the boats tied up. SS for St Ives, FH for Falmouth, PZ of course for Penzance. Now, if you're familiar with my series on Brixham, I've done 5 videos on Brixham now, you know that Brixham has Cowtown and Fishtown. Well, here in St Ives you have Upper Long and Down Long. Starting along there is Down Long Cottage. Down Long there, going on there, the junction at Wheel Dream also being a former tin mine here in St Ives. Now, at the start of the video, you may remember I mentioned that there are 4 beaches in St Ives. Well, the count of the 4 beaches doesn't include this one. It's the one I always forget. This is the 5th beach, St Ives' hidden beach, and I think it's called Dabuz, D-A-B-U-Z. I'll check on that in the editing. Yeah, so it's a really tiny beach, as you can see, and they've also had to place some of the taller, bigger rocks here and reinforce the seawall at this location. We also have housing which backs right onto it, some of the oldest properties there in St Ives. When I started filming this video here in St Ives, I filmed this towards the end of February 2024, got off the train, set my camera up, just getting some B-roll really. I thought I'd actually changed the camera's picture settings. In the Canon camera you can change your different, like fine detail, lots of other settings, because it looked different. Well, I hadn't changed the settings, and the reason that it looks different is because of the quality of the light. I always forget just how things look so clear and sharp here. Real clear light that you have in St Ives, and that of course is why the artists have been drawn to St Ives, well, at least going back to the 19th century. And so this is Porthgwydden Beach, the second of our St Ives beaches, or the third, if you included the one I showed you just now. But I really like this little beach here. Yellowy white sand, so soft as well. See the dogs there enjoying themselves, chasing the waves and jumping into the sea. So I'm filming this at the end of February 2024, and today is a Saturday, so the town is quite busy in the centre of the town. But if you come on to any of the beaches, including this one here, Porthgwydden, you've still got the beach to yourself. And I think if you came here midweek, before the schools break up for Easter, when's that? I think that's in the second week in April, somewhere around there, you should still find St Ives reasonably quiet, although it can still get busy in Wharf Road and 4th Street, as you saw earlier. But here, well, it's pretty quiet place. I mean, I could be somewhere like in Spain or Mallorca, or maybe one of the beaches in Scotland which has the white sand, but it's wonderful, and you can really see the quality of the light here as well. So really appreciating the day here today. Have been in Cornwall for a few days. I've been filming some other videos in my railway series, but haven't had such good weather as what I've got here this afternoon here in St Ives. So we now come around the back of the Penwith Gallery. There were many art galleries still here in St Ives. Remember earlier on we had the Shell shop from 1968. This is actually the oldest shop in St Ives, and this is the Norway Stores, which is a convenience stores established in 1896. And this is Harry's Court here, which is of interest to me, at least for a couple of reasons. One is that the artist Alfred Wallace lived here. He lived from 1855 to 1942, so he was both an artist and a mariner. To the left of that is the house Pentymen Grone, which is where my parents stayed when they came to visit me when I was working here in St Ives back in the middle of the 1990s. Now, if you do ever come to stay at Pentymen Grone or some of the other cottages around here at Hicks Court, beware that the car park for it's through those doors there on the right of the screen. And the car park, which is under the cottages, is very, very narrow, very tight, with lots of pillars. On the 31st of January 1938, the SS Alba was shipwrecked here off the island. All but 5 of the crew survived, however, thanks to the bravery of the St Ives lifeboat. The boat itself was completely beached and later wrecked. So this is looking back at Porthmeor Beach again. Apologies if I said this was Porthminster earlier in the video, I can't remember. But yeah, this is definitely Porthmeor. Porthminster is where we started our video here today in St Ives. This is the one, this is right next to the Tate Gallery here in St Ives. And this is the Tate St Ives. Now, if you're wondering why it's that circular shape, well, it's actually built that way to replicate what was here previously. I remember what was here previously because it was a gasometer. It was the town's gasworks with that familiar round gasometer shape. I feel I can have a shot of what it was like, but if I can't find one of the one here in St Ives, what the gasometer looks like, so you get the general idea of why it was built this way. Now this here is Hicks Court, and this arch marks the entry to Hicks Court, where once stood the house of George Hicks, who was a portreeve. Now, portreeve is a bit like a mayor of the town. He was a portreeve between 1611 and 1624. In 1624, sadly, he met a sticky end. The Provost of England came to St Ives to the Sloop Inn, invited George Hicks for a meal there, and they erected gallows outside the sloop while they were having the meal. At the end of the meal, they hung poor George Hicks for reasons of politics because they didn't feel it fitted in with England because he was an independent and was pro-Cornwall. I can really appreciate the quality of the light here. Why the sculptor Barbara Hepworth, artists like Peter Lanyon were based here in St Ives. St Ives Art Colony. We also had an interest on, I think it was Leach, Bernard Leach, and the pottery. It was set up near, around the sloop area, I believe. The craft centre is. One of my most distinct memories of working here in St Ives was going back to the August of 1999. In fact, in the shops they started to sell dark sunglasses, although we were advised not to buy them or indeed use them. What am I talking about? Well, yes, August 1999 was the date we had the total eclipse of the sun. It was visible in the southern part of the West Country Wanderings region that I cover here on YouTube. So pretty much all of Devon. I'm not sure if it was around North Cornwall, north of Bude area, but most of Cornwall and quite a bit of Devon, but not further up into Somerset or Gloucestershire. And it was an extraordinary day. We actually decided to close Woolworths for about 30 minutes around the total eclipse time. I think it was at around 11 o'clock in the morning, I can't remember exactly. And we all went up on the flat roof of the Woolworths building. It was a 5-storey building. I remember looking across to the island, which is where I'm standing now, and I was thinking, where is the island? I can't see it. And the reason I couldn't see it was because it was covered with human beings, because it was so packed, so popular. Everybody wanted to see this once-in-a-lifetime event. Anyway, we were on the flat roof looking across the harbour out to sea. And one of my colleagues actually said, I think they got the dates wrong, it doesn't seem to be getting dark. And as soon as he said the last part of the word dark, somebody moved one of those giant electric switches down like that and turned the lights out, and everything just went completely black. It lasted quite a few seconds. Somebody switched the lights back on, everything became light again. It was a cloudy day, so you couldn't actually track the moon going across the surface of the sun here in this part of West Cornwall, though you could in other areas. But it was the activity of the birds after the eclipse was just really strange, because they were completely thrown by how it could get dark. And in the middle of the daytime, it completely threw out their internal clock mechanism. But it's a memory I'll never forget here in St Ives. Well, that's it for today in St Ives in Cornwall. I don't often get a chance to come down the furthest part of West Cornwall because of the distance of where I live in Gloucestershire. But I am hoping to come back to West Cornwall later in the year, base myself in and around Penzance, so I can cover places like Senan, Land's End, Mousehole, those sort of places. So I do hope to do that later in the year. I've really enjoyed my day here in St Ives with my daughter. Couldn't have asked for better weather. It's been absolutely perfect. The quality of the light, what St Ives is famed for, really delivered today in this late February day of 2024. That's it for today here on West Country Wanderings. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and I hope to see you on the channel again very soon. All the best for now. Cheers. Goodbye.